Welcome, dreamers. In a bedroom, den, or living room, a collection of rummaged, mismatched blankets are draped over chairs, furniture, and dismantled couches. Crawling inside leads to a cozy, unique space for escape, storytelling, magical sleepovers, or just eating snacks. The blanket fort is a beloved childhood creation, a symbol of an imaginative play, exploration, and creating safe space. Together, we are going to celebrate this childhood activity through a playful paper craft. In your kit, you will find all the necessary building materials: blankets, pillows, cushions, couches, chairs, lamps, tables, a boombox, and books. Your journey, should you choose to accept it, is to customize these paper pieces using pencil crayons, markers, or crayons, then to assemble them using the following video as your guide, and then build your own fort till your heart's content. Allow your fort to take shape in any manner you desire. This is about your freedom to play. We encourage you to share your fort with us by posting it online using the hashtag #SBS4TheDreamer. Best of luck, dreamers. We look forward to seeing your creations.
We're going to fold the lamp. The first thing that we're going to do is crease along all of the score marks that are pre-existing on the lamp. You're just going to take your hands and you're just going to bend. Use your fingers to kind of crease down and give it a good sharpness. And we are going to go through all the spots that are scored. The lamp has 4 sides, so we're going to score each one of the corners. So that's the sides of the lamp, and they'll come together eventually like this. We're going to score the upper part, which will be the cap to the lamp, and we're just going to bend down this little tiny bit here. There's 2 fins, one on the left-hand side and one on the right-hand side, and we're going to score those as well. Bend them over, give them a good press, bend this guy over, give it a good press, and then finally this part. Once we have all of the crease marks scored, we're going to start to assemble it. On the back side of the lamp, you'll see that there are 2 slits. There's one right here, and there's just one up here. There's 2 corresponding fins. These 2 fins are going to slide into these 2 slots. So we're just going to kind of close it over, and you can see the 2 fins here, and they're going to slide in. So we're going to kind of pop that open. Get the first fin started. We're going to get the second fin started, and might take a moment. So because the fins are designed to be a little bit wider than the slot, you're going to have to kind of hook them in and then try to slide them in as best as you can. I find what works best is if you take the 2 independent sides and kind of do this jigging motion, and it'll help kind of ease those fins in, and then they get nice and locked in there. The top cap, we're going to bend the 2 fins inward, because these fins are going to go on the inside of the box, while this elongated fin is going to go sneakily in between these 2 pieces of paper. So we're going to pinch those fins and we're going to push them into the box, and then this long little fin we're going to slide in between the 2 pieces of paper. So it'll slide in, and then that will help hold its form. So this is the back side, and then now we have a little lamp. Next up, Boombox. This little guy has a slot along the bottom side where eventually the top part will wrap around behind and slide into the bottom, and then these two side edges get folded inward. So first thing with all of these, we're going to just gently bend at all of the crease marks. So the sides have a little tiny like fin that you'd see like in packaging, and we're going to bend that. And then we're going to bend right where it meets the front side of the boombox, such as this guy right here. And we'll do the same to the bottom side. Well, I guess the left side. So that you can see that they have two bends to them. We're also going to bend along the bottom. The top part where some of these dials are, there's two folds. There's one that goes across and then another one that goes across, and this will make the top of the boombox. And so we're going to bend just a little bit like that, give it a good crease. And then we're going to bend just a little bit further along the score mark, and see that will give us what will be kind of like the top of the boombox. And on the back side, there's one score mark, which will be the back of the boombox. So now that we have all of the little bits kind of creased, what we're going to do is we're going to take the back fin, the bottom fin that is, and we're going to slide it into the slot. So it looks like this. So it has these open sides in the bottom, front side, top side. We're going to take these edges and we're just going to tuck them in. And they should hold in just kind of by friction. And we'll do the other side as well. We'll just tuck him in. And there we have our very tiny boombox. The big pillow. This one, you might find it is a bit harder to see some of the score marks, but I promise you that they're there. There is like a half circular shape on this side and one down here, and then one that wraps from here to here, and then another from there to there. The first step with all of these is to just crease where you see score marks. So we're just going to start at the top and kind of work our way down. There is the first score mark just here, right where this edge kind of curves and then goes straight a little bit. Going to use our fingers to give a good crease. And then just a little bit below that, where it aligns with these side pieces, there will be another score mark. Then there's a score mark that goes between here and here, and then another one a little bit lower between this side and this side. So you can see that score mark right there. And then just a little bit lower, 1/4 of an inch, is our next score mark. When you've done all of the horizontal scores, 2 here and 2 here, we're going to gently try and press the pillow into its shape with these score marks. So we're just going to very carefully and very slowly, we're just going to kind of push the one side in, and it's going to want to follow the contoured score mark on the edge of the pillow. And so I'm just going to gently coax it into that shape, and then kind of just, without bending it all the way over, nearly all the way there, I'm just kind of pinching that edge to kind of give it a bit of a sharpness to it so it'll help hold its form later on. We're going to do the same to this side as well. And so we're just going to start by gently just pressing and contouring that shape. Then we will do the opposite, well, not the opposites, but we'll do the other part. So with this shape, what's happening is the contour is causing the pillow to be a bit rounded. So it can help a little bit that as you try to push the edge in and get this score mark that goes from here to here, if you kind of pinch and push the pillow together a little bit. And so we're just going to be very gentle with it and let it find its own little groove. And when we've done that, we should have kind of this shape where we have these puckered edges, 2 edges here and 2 edges here. When you have everything scored, we are going to just fold 2 of those sides in, and makes this kind of little box shape. And with the tab part, there's a slot, and we're just going to wrap this over and we're going to slide that tab into the slot. And then make sure it gets nice and locked in there so that the edges of the tab hook onto the sides of the paper and don't come out. And so you can see what kind of shape we are working with. It's this little rounded pillow. Next is our Littlest Book. We're going to start by just scoring, well, creasing along all the score marks. And with this guy, there is 1 score mark that runs from here to here. There are 2 score marks that create the side, 1 here, then 1 a little bit further up, right where the fin starts. Same on this side. And then there are 2 score marks right here, 1 that goes this side and 1 goes this side. And these little lines here will form, I believe, the top of the book. This will be the back, and this fin will wrap around and slide into the slot on the back. So we're just going to bend over the fin and then give it a good crease. Then pull it back out and then do the next one further down. Bend that over. Give it a good crease. And then we'll do the same to the opposite side, bending the fin first. Give it a good crease. If your creases are a little bit off like mine, it's okay. We'll fix that later, or it'll just work for us. And then we'll crease again near the base of the book. And so those will be our side creases. You can see that shape here, right? We're going to crease across the top. And then we are going to do the bottom, well, I guess it's the top of the book in this case. We are going to crease there. A little part, and then just a little bit higher on the other side of all of these marks is the second crease. It might be a little bit difficult to see if you don't have very good light, but trust me, it's there. If for whatever reason any of the score marks don't show up or they just aren't available, you know, trust your gut and just go for it. On the back side and on the bottom, there is a second score mark. There we go. So what it looks like is it should have this kind of shape to it, so that when we fold it all together, it'll make this little lovely rectangle. So the first thing that we are going to do to assemble it is we are going to take what is the bottom side and what is like the back side, and we're just going to turn those around on one another. And we're going to slide the fin into the slot. Sometimes hooking it in and giving it a good little slide is the easiest way to get them to attach. But you can see that it's inserted now, and we have beginnings of our little book. Now we're going to take the sides, and with the fins kind of folded in, we are going to tuck them inside the box. Like so. If you've misjudged your score marks and it doesn't quite fit, you can always rescore the edges by taking like a little butter knife and running an edge across it, trying to bend it over a little bit. Or you can just force it in and it'll probably stick that way too. There we go. So when it's assembled, the friction of the package will hold the fins from the side flaps in place. And now you have the Littlest Book. This lovely little chair has a score mark that runs all the way around the cushion. So from here to here to here to this side, and then across the back, right where the back meets the cushion. There are two tabbies, and these tabs will get inserted into the slots that are cut on these little fins. With all of these, what we're going to do very first is we're just going to gently crease everything. So for this guy, I'm going to start by bending over our edges. And give it a good score. With the chair, something you want to watch out for is the score mark is very close to the edge of the paper in between the legs of the chair. And when we bend it over, we want to make sure that this little tiny bit bends over as well, as you can see on this side. So when we're bending it, we want to kind of work across the whole edge. You can see it's kind of being a little bit wonky for me right now. But we want to go very gently, and that will help align the score mark. We'll do the front side. Trick is to just gently bend it over. If you're very forceful to start, you'll probably end up with a poor score mark. But if you start slowly, it'll be okay. We're going to bend the back of the chair forward onto the cushion. Like that. So now we have those major score marks bent. We're going to bend over the fins and the tabs. Just gently bend that, and then gently bend this one. Then we're going to gently bend the tab and our other tab. Now that we have everything scored, the chair is easy to put together. We're going to look at it from the underside. What we're going to do is we're going to bring the legs in, and then the front legs, the fins, or sorry, the tabs are going to go through the fins. Just like this. And when they go through, the little arrow shape of the tab will hold it in place and keep it locked together. There we go. And that's our little tiny chair. Give the back a little bit of love. There we go. This peculiar shape is our couch pillow. The first thing we're going to do is go through all of the score marks. There's one that runs across here, right where this kind of trapezoid shape is on the edge. There's one that runs across here. There's another that runs across this part, another one here. There are two that run across here, and then another two that run over here. To begin, we're just going to work through all of the little bits one at a time. Let's start by bending over our first fin. With the cushion, giving all of the score marks a good pushing down and creasing with like a fingernail really helps to keep the shape of it. So that's one score mark. Then we're going to bend a little bit more. So this is our second score mark. So you can see that it has kind of this is what the side will be. These long fins will come in handy when we start to make the shape of it. For right now, you don't really want to be touching them at the moment. We're going to do the other side now. We're going to bend over this fin. And we're going to bend right at this seam. And I'm just going to give both of those a good little press. So you can see these sides will come in and make the edges of the box. Going across this way now, there is a score mark that runs right here. Right at the point where these long fins stop their cuts. That's one score. A quarter of an inch further up, there's a second score mark. Don't miss that one. So you can see like it is what will be the edge of the box. Up towards the tab, there's going to be one score mark and then another score mark as well. So we're just going to bend that over gently and open it back up. And then right at the tab, there will be another one. Right where the slot on both sides of the tab is a score mark that runs right across. I'm just going to bend that over. Those are the major score marks. And then you wonder what we do with these long guys. We're just going to gently bend them over at their score marks as well. And they're just kind of where they meet the major square of the pillow. Bend that one over, then bend that one over. So now your pillow should look like a mangled mess of score marks. What we're going to do next is we're going to open the pillow onto the back side. Those long fins, you'll notice, have a very small slot halfway through the paper here and halfway through the paper here. Same with this one and this one. With these, what we're going to do is we're going to bend the box inward. And where those slots meet up, we're going to attach the two long fins together. Then press them together. So what we're looking at is where the little tiny half cuts meet up. The two pieces will link together and kind of bind the edges of the box. This is going to help keep the box in a rectangular shape. We're going to do it to this side as well. Something like that. So now you can see we have a pizza box shape. And then we're going to close it by folding over the lid. And we're going to fold it over a little bit more. And this fin will slide into the side of the box. We're going to push it in. Give it a little shuffle. This will help the tab kind of lock in place. So now we have a very small and thin rectangular pillow. try to get it balanced. This is our comfy chair. It has a score mark here that runs from here to here, here to here, here to here, and here to here. There's one that goes horizontally across this way, and one that goes horizontally from here to here. There are 2 tabs, 2 fins, and a little slot and a little slot where this tab will slide into that slot. The first thing we're going to do is crease all of our score marks. Just going to bend it over and give it a little pinch. Then further up, bend this one over, give it a little pinch. Same here, and then same here. Bend and pinch, bend and pinch. We're going to bend across here and then across here. We're going to bend it backwards. Then we're going to bend this one forwards. The 2 tabs we are going to bend backwards. And they should gently bend in either direction. It shouldn't take much effort. So now that we have these tabs bent over, we have a very strange and weird looking elongated shape. We want to make sure that these tabs are bent in a little bit because they're going to fit underneath the seat cushion. What we are going to do is we are going to bend the front of the seat to create this kind of like square base shape, and this tab is going to slide into the slot that is created on the tab. So the back of the comfy chair gets rounded ever so slightly, and we can kind of gently round it a little bit before we get into this. But what I want to do is I want to slide this tab into this slot, but I want it to slide in front ways. So I'm going to get it just started. We're going to push it through a little bit. It goes in on an angle. Then from the underside, I just want to gently pull the tab through. The way the chairs are made is that the corner of the tab is very tight so that the chair doesn't spring open on us. And so we want to be careful as we pull the tab through the slot. Too much force and we will end up ripping the tab. And in the event anything breaks, just repair it with tape. So we're going to do it to this. We're going to take this tab, bend the chair a little bit, making kind of a cupped back, and we're going to put it into the side. Getting it started, and then just gently pushing it inward. And it should go. So now our chair should have kind of this lovely rounded arch back. And both of those tabs should be inside and pulled all the way through. And now we have the back of it. On the back side, one fin has a cut from the bottom halfway up, and the other one has a cut from the top halfway down. What I want to do is I want to cross them over and tuck one edge behind the other, so that when the slots line up and come together like that, the excess material is on the inside of the chair, such as like this, and like that. And that is our little tiny comfy chair. Super similar to the comfy chair is the comfy couch. It is the same construction process, but all that has changed is the comfy chair is only half the size. And this is just a little bit longer. So again, we have a score mark that runs vertically here to here, one that goes from here to here, another one from this point to this point, this point to this point, and we have a horizontal one that runs across here, and another one from the corner to this corner. We have the two tabs, which we'll insert into the two slots on these little fins that we will bend over. First thing is we are going to bend over all of the score marks. So bend over a part, give it a little pinch, move on to the next one, give that a little pinch. We're going to bend this one over, giving it a pinch. And then right here, another one along the score mark. So we have kind of the base. Now we want to bend the cushion part backwards. Like so. While I'm here, I'm just going to bend these two tabs real quick. And then this score mark, we will bend the back of the couch forward onto the face of the pillow. There we go. So now that you have all of the scoring done and bending and creasing, what we're going to do is turn it over. We're going to make sure that these tabs are above this plane so that when they come together, they will be inside of our chair, like so. We're going to take the tab and we're going to gently kind of round the back of the couch. And we're going to insert that tab into the very small little slot that is right here in this fin. We're going to put the side in, and then we're going to bend this inward. So we're going to get started ever so slightly, and then we're just going to gently push it inward. Don't force it. If you force it, you'll probably rip it. It's very gentle. And then it will eventually just go, and you'll get the angle correct. And then it will sit comfortably. We'll do the opposite side. We'll bend the back of the couch a little bit. And we'll push this side back, and then we'll try to get this started just like so. And we'll very gently just kind of coax that tab into the slot. Like so. So now we have the top of the couch assembled, and we're going to assemble the back. There are two back fins, and they each have a corresponding cut. This cut runs from this point halfway, and then this side will run from the opposite side halfway. What we want to do is bend and cross them over, line up those marks, and hook them together so that the excess is hanging in on the inside of the couch. And that will finish our comfy couch. This rectangular shape is our table. It has a horizontal score mark here, another one across this point, and then a vertical score mark that runs across the whole length, and then another one that runs across here. We're going to begin by just creasing all of the score marks. Just gently bend it over, and it will find its natural groove, and then when that is good, give it a good sharp creasing, and we'll do it to the opposite side as well. Bending that over, gently at first, and give it a good crease. Next, we are going to do the other creases where you can see it runs across this whole length. We're going to bend the table legs, and we're going to bend these long pieces that hang off the edge. So one at a time, I'm going to bend that over. Give it a good pinch, bend this side over, give it a good pinch. We're going to bend over both legs, giving it a good pinch. So you can see, do the opposite side now. Bending over at the edge, and this edge, and bending over the table legs, and giving it a good pinch. On the back side, your table should look kind of like this. So what we are going to do is we're going to take the legs, we're going to put the legs inward. Close the sides of the table a little bit, and we're going to attach these long kind of excess paper strands together. There is two corresponding cuts. There's a little cut here and a little cut here. And when they overlap with one another, those cuts will line up. Now, what is important here is that when you attach these, that the excess is directed towards the inside of the table. I'll show you what not to do on the other side. See, on this side, the excess is directed outwards, and it's important that it is directed inward, as the next step will demonstrate. So we want to make sure that we cross those over correctly. To make the table a bit more secure, we're going to pop these little tabs through the hole where the table legs come up. So I'm going to lift up the table legs and slide those excess tabs through that gap. And give it kind of a good pinch together so that the excess is on the inside of the legs now, and the table legs are kind of trapped between the long tabs and that X shape that those tabs are going to make. Do this other side as well. We're going to put the table legs down. We're going to take the excess inward, these two little fins, and we are just going to push them underneath the table leg as we turn the table leg up. So we're going to lift the leg up, and those tabs will come through, and we'll give it a little gentle love. That'll help keep those legs nice and straight. And so this is the table. Next up are the blankets. There are two different types of blankets. One that has a very faint X score mark that goes from corner to corner, and then the other one which has a V-shape score mark. Ultimately, you can score and fold the blankets whichever direction that you want. You do not have to stick with our score marks. I find that sometimes the score marks are a little bit difficult to see on the blankets. What we're going to do is gently find that score mark and bend it over. Just gently bending it over, and it will snap kind of into the score mark if it's there. Because the score mark is the weakest point of the paper will want to fold where that is. You just have to be a bit patient with it. So our X fold mark blanket will look like this guy, where it'll have this kind of shape that we can do something with it, build something with it. With our V mark, the score marks don't cross each other, but from here to about 1/3 of the way across, and then the other 1/3 of the way across to the other corner. So I'm just going to gently bend some of that, and then when the score mark appears, give it some commitment. And then our other score mark, which runs from the blankets are a lot more freeform, so don't feel bad if you can't find the score mark. Just score them wherever you feel like you would like to use them. These are just some of the shapes that we thought that you might enjoy.
All right, we have gathered our tables, our chairs, our couch cushions, our bed pillows, our books, our boom boxes, our lamps, our tables, and our blankets, and we are ready to build the fort of our dreams. Your kit also comes with a sheet of glue dots, which you can use for this part to help keep things attached to one another if you feel necessary. Or if any of your paper elements starts to get a little funky or start to fall apart on you, you can use the glue dots for that as well.